Well, hi everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from, whatever time of day it is for you. Thank you very much for joining me. Yesterday I posted an unloading of my kiln and I got a couple of responses and comments back about my carving. And since I'm doing it today, I thought I would do just a quick video on how I carve my pieces. So I'm going to get right to it. This is the shell that I will be working with. Well, a similar one. I've already advanced enough to where I'm going to be carving it. This is untrimmed, but it is hollow, a hollow form. And what I'm going to be doing is I have this this pattern that I've traced out onto a piece of plastic, so that it makes it easier to trace it onto the clay. You can see what the design is. It's a tree. And what I end up doing is using a Hsin tool, and I use the one that's got a very fine ball point. This is the XST01. I know it's probably backwards for you, but this is the tool that I'm using. And it has a slightly larger ball point at the other end. There, that's the larger end. Anyway, what I end up doing is I divide it on the rim, or I make a mark in thirds on this, and then I just lay this up onto here, and then I trace it using the small end of this this ball tool, and I do it 3 times in 3 places around the pot. And so what you end up getting is this, and here is the traced design on the pot, and what I'm going to show you is how I carve it. So I'm going to angle my camera down into my lap, and then because that's where I'm going to be doing this from and working from, so you can see how I carve. It's easy for me now. It wasn't easy at the beginning. It does take time and patience to work through it and to get the style in which you do it. So you are not me and I am not you, and you will do it slightly differently, but this is how I do it, and I've had years of practice and I've gotten pretty good at it. So I will get underway. I take this piece of sponge and I'm just going to set it into my lap here, and I'll move a little closer. Now I use, again, I think my printing is backwards, but it's a Hsin Tools, Hsin. If you don't follow Hsin on your YouTube channels, you really should. He's a master potter and has his own tool lines. Anyway, sorry, I'm covering up the end, which is the important end. I love to carve with this tool because of how sharp the point is. I'm going to balance this on my lap and hopefully not knock it over. You can see how sharp this is, and I can get very fine carved lines. Now on this particular design I don't really have any, but anyway, this is a pattern that I've done time and time again. So the one thing that I can tell you is you might figure this out for yourself after a year or 2 of carving, but I'm going to let you in on it right now. So what we tend to do is when we carve is we tend to hold the tool like we do a pencil, and we go in like that and we cut. And what happens is that because this is 3-dimensional, you will see that inside carved line as you're looking directly into the pot. So what I have to do when I'm carving is I actually angle my knife outwards, so that really the only thing you see is the edge. Now, this may not make sense to you in the discussion, but it will make sense to you if you ever do any carving. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, this is the design. I'm going to carve the leaves first, and then I'm going to carve the stem of the tree. Well, yeah. So here we go. And once you get started, like there's kind of like no turning back. And what I do is I just look around my pot and make sure that my pieces are evenly spaced out and there's no offsetting. And then here we go. So it's a deliberate movement, and I've got it traced out so I know exactly. I'm going from here to here, and I'm going to angle my knife inwards, and I'm just going to do my one line like that. And then likewise, I turn my knife the other way and I do the other part of the leaf. And I just continue that all the way around. Now, I don't have to follow the pattern exactly. And if a leaf is bigger than another one, or I go out of my line, it doesn't really matter. But one thing I have to make sure of is that I leave enough space between my carved lines so that I don't accidentally tear or break this the clay. If I do, then I have to take some time and repair it, and that becomes a tedious thing to do. So I hope you're able to see what it is that I'm doing, and my hand is not blocking. I'm trying to figure out. Let me see if I can. Just trying to figure out the best angle to show you without my hand getting in the way. But that's just what I do, and I just go down. No, I'm going to adjust the camera. Give me a second. This might be a little bit better. So I'm not so completely in the picture. Oh yes, okay, so we'll get back to where we are here. Again, I angle my knife when I make my cuts. I go all the way around. Now, I don't normally take out my cutouts until I finish the entire pot, but just for the sake, I don't need to show you all three of them. The process is identical as I move from one design to the other. But the important thing is to angle your knife, and I'm kind of exaggerating it so that you fully understand. And like I said, another thing that I said is just you be very deliberate. Just know where the starting point and end point is of your cutout, and you won't get into any trouble. Okay, so we've done the leaves. So now what I'm going to do is the stem. Now I put this leaf here a little bit longer than I should have. So now I'm going to have to make sure that when I cut my stem, I move it over and away from that, because I don't want that little spot there to break. So I'm going to do that right now. Again, I'm angling my knife, and I'm going to adjust and make sure that I don't go too close to my leaves. And I go all the way down to the bottom. Okay. And again, I'm being very careful, observing where the end of my leaves are as I come down. Down to the bottom, and I carve like that. And then this other piece here, okay. And then what I'm going to do is, so now you can see that how I've carved it all, and I check it to make sure that I've got all the pieces, which I have. And every once in a while, because this is leather hard, I just want to make sure, and I'm going to use this and just get this back to round. It's just a clay terracotta pot. And then what I'm going to do is take one of my carving tools, and I'm going to pop these out, and you're going to see the design. Now the nice thing is because of the way I've angled the knife, they pop in very, very easily. So I put my hand in the back for support, and I just pop them out, and you begin to see the pattern emerge. And if it starts to push in a little bit, like I said, I'm doing this a little prematurely. I should wait a little bit for this to stiffen up. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Now I know that's very close, so I'm just really, really careful not to aggravate the join there. And if I find one piece is a little bit stiff, I just take my time with it. I don't rush this part of the process because this is where the clay can tear. And I don't want to go through all of this to have it tear. Now what I do is I start here at the top and I just push in that, which is the trunk of the tree, and this is the branch. And again, I just push it in, and I can put my hand, my inside hand, I'm pressing here and here on the inside, and then it just falls out. And there you have the carved design on the inside of, or on the outside of your pot. So what I'm telling you about the crispness, like why I angle the knife, and you can see now, if I had angled my knife the other way, you would see the wall edge and the thickness of the wall. And because I because I angle the knife the way I do, it makes for a great, very, very crisp line. What I then will do is I will just take my sponge and I will just very lightly go over it and just soften those edges, so that when I glaze it, it doesn't become razor sharp and cut anybody or hurt anybody, which it can do because it's a very crisp edge. And I just smooth it all out. What I will do is, after I finish this, I will cover them up for the evening, just with a light covering, and then I put them into, I can show you, right here is, right there, is a baker's rack that I have, and I have a plastic covering, and that's where I dry my pieces. So there you have it. That's how I carve my lamp. This is what it looks like. This is it traced onto the belly of or onto the side of my lamp. This is the pattern. Oh, where'd it go? I've lost it. Oh, it's blown away. Okay, well, anyway, there you go. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope this helped, and if you have any more questions about carving, please feel free to ask me. I'm pretty experienced at it, and I have a lot of fun with it. Thank you very much, everybody. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you wish to subscribe and haven't done so already, you can subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of kiln unloadings, but I'm going to start to integrate a few videos on just how I get to where I am with my finished pieces and my glazed pieces. So thanks again. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.